There is a deeper truth beneath the date you were born, one that breathes quietly through the seasons, speaking not in words but in energy, rhythm, and symbols. Carl Jung believed that the soul does not enter the world at random. It chooses a doorway, a moment, a spiritual climate that aligns with its hidden purpose. The month of your birth, then, is not merely a number. It is an imprint, a symbolic echo that reveals your inner nature before you even speak your first word. This isn't superstition. It's the poetry of psychology, the meeting place of archetype and time. Just as the tides obey the moon and the trees turn with the seasons, so too do we enter through months that shape our earliest emotional truths. Some are born in stillness, others in fire. Some carry the hush of winter, others the bloom of spring. But each month holds its own sacred code. And once you begin to understand it, your life begins to make more sense. Not in a rigid way, but in a freeing one. Let us begin with those born in the heart of winter. January-born souls are often the quiet anchors of the world. Entering life in the deepest stillness, they carry the energy of the elder, those who seem to have lived many lives before this one. There's a calm, watchful presence in them, a kind of unshakable wisdom that makes people instinctively turn toward them for guidance. They are thinkers, organizers, slow to speak but powerful when they do. But beneath their grounded exterior lies a tender longing to be known not just for their strength, but for the softness they often hide. Their path is one of honoring wisdom, while also reclaiming joy. Yet the elder archetype carries its shadows too. The weight of responsibility can be heavy. January-born individuals may struggle with overthinking, self-imposed solitude, or an inner belief that they must always have it together. They may avoid vulnerability, fearing it will undo their calm presence. But it is through embracing their own emotional needs that they become truly whole. The lesson of January is this: true wisdom is not just found in silence and structure. It also flows through laughter, connection, and letting others carry you sometimes too. February-born souls, by contrast, do not enter the world with the same stillness. Their energy is electric, stirring just beneath the ice. They are the visionaries, those who walk a little ahead of their time, seeing what others cannot yet imagine. Jung saw these souls as deeply intuitive, creatively rebellious, and often misunderstood. They sense possibilities others overlook. They long for change, not because they are restless, but because they believe in better ways of living, loving, and being. Often labeled different, they carry within them the pulse of a new world. The visionary archetype comes with its own burden: isolation. February-born individuals may feel out of place in conventional roles. Their thoughts may soar so far ahead that they struggle to translate them into action. They live between realms, the inner world of ideas and the outer world of practicality. But their true gift lies in integration. When they learn to anchor their vision with structure, they become catalysts, builders of what was once only imagined. Their challenge is not to dim their uniqueness, but to shape it into something others can follow. Together, the January elder and the February visionary offer a powerful contrast and a sacred balance. One reminds us of ancient truth, the other of future possibility. If you were born in either of these winter months, know this: your soul carries rare wisdom. Whether rooted in tradition or reaching toward innovation, your task is to trust the rhythm you were born with. The world needs both the grounded and the groundbreaking, and you may be both. If this speaks to you, like this video, type your birth month below and tell us what it says about you. Let's begin this symbolic journey. To be born in March is to be woven from water and light, from thawing soil and trembling beginnings. You enter the world at a moment of profound transition, when winter releases its grip and spring breathes its first hesitant sigh. Carl Jung understood March-born souls as archetypal reborns, those who carry the imprint of resurrection, emotional sensitivity, and inner renewal. They feel life deeply, sometimes too deeply, and are often shaped by the invisible. These are the souls who've always known how to rise, not because life was easy, but because they were built for transformation. They bend, break, and bloom again. March-born individuals are often dreamers with one foot in another world. They are intuitive, often artistic, and quietly spiritual. Their hearts beat to the rhythm of nature's cycles, and they tend to absorb the moods of the world around them. This emotional openness is their gift, but also their challenge. At times, they may feel overwhelmed by their inner landscape, unsure of where they end and others begin. The reborn must learn the delicate dance of vulnerability and boundary. Without it, they may lose themselves in emotional tides that were never theirs to carry. Their healing begins the moment they realize their sensitivity is not a weakness. It's a compass. March-born souls are here to feel what others won't, to name the unnamed, and to bring beauty out of pain. They are not meant to live ordinary lives. Their path is cyclical, sacred, and full of rebirths. And while this often means enduring heartbreak, it also means discovering resilience that defies explanation. The reborn becomes a guide not through perfection, but through surviving what once felt unsurvivable, and emerging more whole each time. Then comes April, and everything changes. The world awakens in full force. The flowers don't ask for permission, they bloom boldly. Those born in this month carry the flame of the warrior, a force of courage, initiative, and instinct. Jung saw this archetype as fiery and alive, unafraid to leap into action. April souls are rarely content to watch from the sidelines. They feel called to move, to act, to lead. There's a certain intensity to them, as if their very presence demands momentum. April-born individuals often radiate confidence, even if they question it internally. They are magnetic, passionate, and fierce in their loyalty. These are the change makers, the starters, the ones who push forward when others hesitate. But their greatest strength can also be their shadow. The warrior may act without thinking, burn without resting, or fight when peace was possible. For these souls, growth comes through learning to wield their fire with intention. Not every battle is theirs to fight, and not every victory requires resistance. When balanced, April-born souls become protectors, inspirers, and leaders with heart. Their fire warms rather than scorches. They show us what it means to begin again, boldly and unapologetically. And when paired with the March-born reborn, we see two sides of the same soul journey. One soft and emotional, the other fierce and initiatory. Together they teach us that life is both awakening and action, healing and courage. If your birthday falls in either of these months, you are the call of spring, the one who rises and then moves the world forward. To be born in May is to arrive when the earth has fully awakened, when blossoms spill open and the air hums with steady beauty. There's a peaceful rhythm in the world during this time, and those born beneath it often carry that same energy, rooted, nurturing, sensuous, and deeply connected to the present moment. Carl Jung would recognize the archetype of the builder or the lover of simplicity in May-born souls. These individuals are architects of stability, lovers of comfort, and guardians of beauty, not superficial beauty, but the beauty of consistency, nature, and devotion. May-born souls often value the tangible. They may be drawn to food, art, gardening, or craftsmanship. Anything that lets them create something real with their hands and hearts. Their loyalty runs deep. They are not easily shaken. And when they love, it is with a fullness that asks for nothing but presence in return. Yet within that strength lies their challenge. The builder can become so committed to comfort, to routine, to what feels secure, that they resist the very change they need in order to grow. They may cling to what is known, even when it no longer nourishes them. The healing path for May-born individuals is learning how to loosen their grip without losing their center. Growth doesn't have to mean chaos. It can be graceful, intentional, and in harmony with their grounded spirit. When they open to evolution, they build not only lives of beauty, but lives of meaning. They teach the rest of us how to slow down, how to savor, how to stay when everything else wants to rush away. Their strength is quiet, but it is enduring, and their love is the kind that others come home to. Then arrives June, the midpoint of the year, where the sun hangs long in the sky and curiosity stirs like wind in tall grass. June-born souls carry the archetype of the seeker or the mediator, those who ask questions not because they are lost, but because they are endlessly alive to life's unfolding mystery. Jung would see them as the ones who walk between conversations, ideas, and hearts, gathering meaning like a traveler gathers treasures. There is a childlike wonder in them, paired with an old soul's hunger to know. June-born individuals are often quick-witted, open-hearted, and naturally adaptable. They are storytellers, teachers, connectors. They feel most alive when they're learning or engaging with others. But their gift can also stretch them thin. The seeker can become scattered, restless, uncertain of their own direction. With so many interests, so many possibilities, they may struggle to commit, to land, to choose. And in trying to keep everyone happy, they may forget to listen to themselves. For the seeker to truly grow, they must learn to ground their wings. This doesn't mean giving up exploration. It means giving themselves an inner compass. When they begin to trust their own truth above all the voices around them, they find a rare kind of clarity. They don't lose their versatility. They deepen it. And then they become not just wanderers, but wise guides. People who light the way for others through their honesty, humor, and insight. Together, the grounded builder and the curious seeker form a beautiful polarity: earth and air, stillness and movement, simplicity and exploration. If you were born in May or June, your gift lies in harmonizing these energies, building a life that is both stable and spontaneous, rooted and free. Your soul came here to create, to question, and to remind the world that depth doesn't always shout. It often whispers through presence, through curiosity, and through love. To be born in July is to arrive in a month drenched in warmth, intimacy, and deep emotional tides. This is the time when the sun is high and families gather, when laughter echoes through long evenings and the world seems to slow down just enough to remember what matters. But beneath the surface brightness, July carries a quieter depth. Carl Jung would align this birth month with the archetype of the nurturer or the protector, those who are not simply emotional, but emotionally intelligent. To be born in July is to be born with the instinct to care. July-born souls are natural empaths. They sense the unspoken, feel the undercurrents, and often take responsibility for the emotional well-being of those around them. These are the ones who remember birthdays, who intuit when someone is hurting even if nothing has been said. They carry with them the tenderness of childhood and the strength of a guardian. But this gift of emotional presence can come with a hidden cost. When you're the one everyone leans on, who do you lean on? The shadow of the nurturer is self-neglect. July-born individuals may find themselves giving until they are empty, soothing others while quietly abandoning their own inner needs. They may fear conflict, withdraw rather than confront, or bottle emotions until they become heavy. There is often an old wound here, an early sense that love must be earned through caretaking. But this is not their truth. Healing begins when the nurturer realizes that their worth is not tied to how much they do for others, but to the sacredness of simply being who they are. To transform, the July soul must learn the language of receiving. Their deep heart deserves rest, renewal, and relationships that give back. They must unlearn the lie that vulnerability is weakness. When the protector begins to protect themselves with boundaries, honesty, and self-honor, they become not just caregivers but healers. Their intuition sharpens, their empathy deepens, and their energy no longer leaks. It becomes luminous. They stop pouring from a half-empty cup and start radiating from fullness. Jung would say that those born in July are deeply connected to the archetype of the inner mother, the part of all of us that longs to hold and be held. They walk between past and present, memory and meaning, helping others remember what it means to feel safe, seen, and truly loved. But to do this fully, they must first offer those gifts to themselves. They must mother their own wounds, comfort their own inner child, and come home to the softness they've given everyone else. If your soul chose July, you carry the medicine of warmth. Your presence is a sanctuary. And when you care for yourself as deeply as you care for the world, you do more than protect, you transform. You remind us that tenderness is not fragility, it is power in its most sacred form. To be born in August is to arrive in the full blaze of summer's glory, when life is radiant, bold, and unapologetically alive. It is a time of fullness, of celebration, of standing tall in the center of one's own stage. Carl Jung aligned this period with the archetype of the sovereign, the king or queen, the one born to lead not through dominance, but through presence, purpose, and noble spirit. August-born individuals often carry a powerful inner light, a gravitational pull that draws others in. They are natural leaders even if they never ask to be. August souls tend to walk with confidence, or at least the appearance of it. There is a deep sense within them that they are here to do something meaningful, to build, to guide, to leave a mark. They are often creative, generous, and deeply loyal to those they love. But like all great light, theirs casts a shadow. The sovereign archetype can become self-protective, prideful, or afraid to appear vulnerable. Sometimes, they carry the burden of feeling they must always be strong, always in control, always the one others look to, and that weight can grow heavy. The healing path for the August-born begins with surrender, not of their power, but of the illusion that power means perfection. When they allow themselves to be human, to be held, to rest, something beautiful happens. Their light becomes less about performance and more about radiance. Their leadership deepens, rooted not in status or control, but in empathy, integrity, and truth. They become the kind of leaders who lift others with them, who shine in such a way that everyone around them begins to glow. Then comes September, and everything begins to settle. The heat softens, the leaves shift, and the world prepares for harvest. Those born in this month carry the energy of the analyst, the craftsman, or the inner perfectionist. Jung would place them in the archetype of the thoughtful organizer, the one who brings order to chaos, who finds meaning in the details, and who feels most alive when serving with precision and purpose. September-born souls are thinkers, quietly brilliant, deeply responsible. They notice what others miss. These individuals often have a strong sense of duty and tend to hold themselves and others to high standards. They are often excellent problem solvers, capable of incredible focus and discipline, but within their strength lies a silent struggle, the fear of not being enough. September-born souls may wrestle with self-criticism, overanalysis, or the feeling that they must earn love through flawless performance. Their inner dialogue can be harsh, driven by a deep desire to get it right. Yet life is not meant to be perfect, it is meant to be lived. Healing begins when the analyst learns to soften, to see that their worth is not measured by productivity or perfection, but by presence. When they begin to accept the beautiful messiness of being human, they become powerful vessels of grace. Their clarity becomes compassion. Their structure becomes sanctuary. They stop fixing and start holding space for themselves, for others, for life as it is. And in doing so, they become not just efficient, but wise. August and September represent two kinds of brilliance. One shines in full daylight, the other in quiet precision. One rules with heart, the other serves with mind. If you were born in either of these months, your calling may be to unite these forces within you: confidence and humility, fire and earth, vision and refinement. When you do, you become not just successful, you become whole. To be born in October is to arrive at the turning point between light and dark, between warmth and chill, between life's outer celebration and inner descent. It is a month of equilibrium, of autumn leaves falling with grace, of sunsets glowing longer as the days shorten. Carl Jung would place October-born souls within the archetype of the diplomat or the artist, those who long for harmony in a world built on conflict. These are the ones who see both sides, who feel the weight of imbalance in any room, and who carry an almost sacred urge to restore peace through beauty, truth, and connection. October souls are often emotionally intelligent, aesthetically gifted, and socially attuned. They move through life with elegance, graceful communicators, natural peacemakers, and deep lovers of all that is beautiful. Many October-born individuals have an eye for design, music, or relational balance. They long for partnership, for fairness, for a world that makes emotional sense. But within this longing is a hidden ache. When you seek balance so deeply, you may avoid the very tension needed to grow. The shadow of the diplomat is avoidance. October-born souls may silence their own needs to maintain peace, or retreat from conflict even when truth begs to be spoken. They may become so attuned to others that they lose sight of their own center. Jung taught that true individuation, the journey to becoming your full self, requires facing conflict, not escaping it. And for those born in October, this means learning to stand in the storm with grace, to speak hard truths with love, and to realize that peace born of suppression is not peace at all. To heal, October-born individuals must come home to themselves. Their longing for harmony must begin inward, with the reconciliation of their own contradictions. When they dare to stop people-pleasing and start soul-listening, they unlock their greatest strength, the ability to bridge worlds without losing their own. Their voice, once quieted, becomes a melody of healing for others. Their honesty becomes their art, and their inner balance becomes the foundation for outer transformation. Jung might say that the October soul walks the archetypal bridge between the inner and outer, between the seen and unseen. They are the artists of the psyche, the ones who make meaning visible, who soften the hard edges of the human experience with beauty and depth. But this artistry must not only serve others, it must nourish their own spirit first. For in honoring their truth, they become more than harmonizers. They become creators of emotional sanctuaries. If you were born in October, you are not weak for craving peace. You are powerful for embodying it. But peace begins not with silence, not with compromise, but with courage. When you find the bravery to live your truth beautifully and unapologetically, you become the mirror this world so desperately needs, a mirror that reflects not perfection, but balance, not quietness, but grace. To be born in November is to arrive at the edge of silence, when the world begins to turn inward and the veil between seen and unseen thins. The trees have shed their glory, the earth cools in quiet preparation, and the soul begins to whisper truths it can no longer hide. Carl Jung would have recognized November-born individuals as carriers of the alchemist or deep transformer archetype. These are not surface dwellers. They are born with a deep, often unconscious contract to explore the hidden layers of life: pain, truth, rebirth, and healing. November souls often move through life with a quiet intensity. Even when calm on the outside, they feel life like a tidal wave beneath their skin. They are drawn to mysteries of psychology, death, intimacy, and spiritual awakening. Many become healers, artists, or seekers who do not fear the dark, but enter it willingly, knowing that gold is often buried beneath ash. But this path is not easy. Transformation requires destruction, and those born in November may find themselves in cycles of loss, identity, death, and deep emotional unraveling. The shadow of the alchemist is control. November-born souls may fear vulnerability, clinging tightly to what they can manage, afraid that surrender will consume them. Their passion can become possessiveness, their depth a burden. Their gift of intensity can isolate them if they do not learn how to hold it with compassion. Jung knew that the deeper the unconscious material we carry, the more it rules our lives until we bring it into the light. And for November souls, that light comes not through denial, but through sacred confrontation. Healing begins when the November-born embraces surrender, not as defeat, but as evolution. When they release the need to force outcomes and instead trust the process of transformation, they become truly powerful. Their depth becomes a channel, their pain a compass, and their ability to guide others through the dark becomes not a performance, but a presence. They do not need to fix, they need only to hold space for what is real. Their gift is not their control, it's their capacity to walk with truth, no matter how uncomfortable. Jung would say that these souls are alchemical beings, transmuters of shadow into light, of endings into beginnings. But in order to live their archetype fully, they must stop fearing their own softness. They must let themselves grieve, break, and feel. Not every wound needs a solution. Some wounds are meant to open doorways. And when they allow that opening, they rise changed but not broken. Baptized by fire but now glowing from within. If you were born in November, You are not here for a surface life. You are here for depth, for truth, for transformation. You are the storm and the stillness, the wound and the wisdom. And the more you trust your darkness, the more your light begins to shine, not loudly, but unmistakably. To be born in December is to arrive at the threshold of endings and beginnings. The year exhales, the nights are long, the stars sharper, and something ancient stirs in the stillness. Carl Jung would place December-born souls within the archetype of the sage or visionary teacher, those who carry a wide view of life, a philosophical heart, and an inner wisdom that often feels older than their age. These are the ones who walk between worlds, always holding a lantern of hope while keeping their feet on sacred ground. December souls often feel both hopeful and melancholic. They are reflective by nature, drawn to big ideas, spiritual truths, and universal meaning. Many become mentors, teachers, philosophers, or spiritual guides, not because they seek authority, but because truth seeks them. They are natural optimists, but not in a shallow way. Their hope has been earned through suffering. They've seen darkness and still believe in the light. And yet, even the sage must learn to remain present, not drifting too far into visions or ideas that detach them from their own emotional needs. The shadow of the sage is spiritual bypassing. December-born individuals may escape into ideas, dreams, or ideals, leaving behind the messiness of real life. They may give wisdom to others while quietly starving themselves of connection, joy, or rest. Jung taught that true wisdom doesn't live only in the mind. It must be embodied, lived, and felt. And for these souls, the challenge is to come down from the mountain, to live their teachings in the soil of everyday life. When they do, their wisdom becomes not just inspiration, but healing presence. To grow, the December soul must integrate vision with vulnerability. They must learn to rest in the now, to listen as much as they speak, and to trust that their presence alone is enough. Their depth is undeniable, but their beauty lies in their gentleness. When they allow themselves to be students as much as sages, they become radiant guides, not above others, but beside them. Their soul speaks not only in lessons, but in love. As we look across all 12 months, we see not boxes or labels, but mirrors. Each birth month holds a unique energy, a symbolic archetype that whispers to your unconscious, shaping how you relate, create, love, and heal. Jung didn't teach us to become our archetype. He taught us to become aware of it, so that we might live more consciously, more wholly, more awake. Your birth month is not your destiny, it's a doorway, a compass, a clue. So whether you were born in the stillness of January, the vision of February, the renewal of March, or the fire of April, whether you were born in the softness of May, the curiosity of June, the depth of July, or the leadership of August, whether your soul carries the sharp clarity of September, the grace of October, the transformation of November, or the wisdom of December, remember this: you are not here to fit in. You are here to remember who you've always been. You are not here to live by default. You are here to awaken. Your month is a mirror. Your life is the unfolding of a sacred pattern. And now that you've seen it, what will you do with it? If you made it to the end, type "I remember" in the comments. Let this be the moment you return to yourself with new eyes, with deeper grace, and with the knowing that your life has never been random. It has always been meaningful.